Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Maria Azier, also known as Mindset and Mascara. I am a freelance makeup artist and I do looks every day on Instagram and tutorials here and reviews and things like that. And today we are going to be talking about the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Brush collection. I have some opinions on it and I have good things, bad things, all kinds of things about this collection. Now, what I'm going to start out with are the ones that I just really am not going to use, and I bought the entire collection because I have a brush obsession. See all those brushes over there? I've really got to do some decluttering, like really bad, because some of those brushes I don't even use, I never grab. There are brushes that I use every day. You probably will see in some of my tutorials and things like that, but yeah, I have a brush obsession and I probably could have gone with just like one or two of these brushes, but yeah. I didn't. I bought the entire thing. So let's get started and talk about the brushes that really didn't work for me, or brushes that I loved at first and then changed my mind about later. So the brushes that I did not like, this one. This is the JH04. This is her blush brush, and there's a reason why I didn't like it. A lot of people do like this brush, but I didn't for a certain reason. I used to be a Limelight consultant and I do not do network marketing anymore. That is in my All About Me video, but the one thing that I did like, there were some brushes that I did like, and this is their blush brush. They're I think they're called Lifelite now. So see, it's been that long. So this blush brush I absolutely love. I haven't found one that I love, and it's dirty. You can see I used it today. So I haven't found one that I love as much as this. This is just like so soft and it just glides onto your face. So I absolutely love this. And when I did try this, see how it's smaller, and this one kind of gives more coverage. And this is also, if you look at it, it is thinner than this. And this just, it didn't apply my blush as much or as like seamlessly as this one does. So it did not replace it. It actually went into this bin over here after I used it once, and I never touched it again, because I love this case. I use this case for my everyday brushes, and we'll talk about that later. So all right, the second one, this brush, this is the JH43, and a lot of people say that you can use it for, you know, carving out the brow line. I have something else that I use. I have an angled, not an angled brush. I have a concealer brush that I use. I may try that for this. We will see. It may go into that. This over here is a Benefit like brow set that I got, and I just use that for everything for my brows. So when I start getting ready and do my brows, I just pick that up and put that over here, and it has all my brushes in there. So I may put this in there just to see if it'll work better for that. But I was using it for my lower lash line until I got the Alamar Cosmetics brush set in my Boxy Luxe, and this quickly replaced this one. Why? Look at the difference. Let's see if I can get really close to you guys, but look at the difference in just the thickness of these brushes. See? It's just, this one is so much thinner. It's so much more precise. And the way I do my lower lash line, if you can see, is I get shimmers like really close to the lash line, and then I add a like transition color and then buff that out to smoke out the lower lash line. So this one, this one is not a bad brush. I used it all the time. And did I say this was a JH43? Sorry. I use this all the time, but this one is just, it more fits my needs, and I absolutely love it. And I think the set for this is like $18 for 3 brushes, and that's a really good deal. All right, so that one ended up going over here, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up putting it in my brow case and see how that goes. This brush, I use this brush several times. This is the JH36, and if I was a beginner, or if I didn't have the brush that I normally use for my transition, I probably would love this. However, this brush is very scratchy, and I am so used to this. This is my Elizabeth Mott blending brush, and just put powder everywhere, but this is my Elizabeth Mott blending brush. I got this in an Ipsy bag, and I absolutely love it. I buy a lot of like Sephora brushes and things like that, and I have never replaced this brush because I absolutely love it. I'm probably gonna go on the website and buy like 3 or 4 more of these brushes because I love this blending brush. This one is just too scratchy. This is a JH36, and I was using it today. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and use it today and kind of, you know, put my transition in, and I was using it and I was like, I can't do it. So, and I switched to this one. So this one goes into this bin over here, and it's not gonna get used. But this is a really good brush, and I can't remember how much this was, but I will look it up and put it either on the screen, and or, you know, actually all of these brushes that I'm suggesting, I will link down below. All right, so the next brush, this brush, I'm not saying this is a bad brush, I just don't use it. There is nothing that I use this brush for. So it's not something that I use. And so that one goes in, and this is the JH06, so that one goes in there as well. This brush, I had high hopes for this brush because I use something similar, not exactly. This is the IBY crease brush. Those of you that follow me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, when I was doing my Facebook lives, my Get Ready With Me on Facebook, will know that this is my most used brush. I use it for my smoky eyes. I use it for packing color on, and like this, I used it for like this deep purple shade here, and I use it for packing on color, and then I will go in with my dome brush and then it just kind of blend everything together. Yes, I use a packed brush for my blending. People probably will scream, but this is how I like to blend out my colors. Anyway, so I had high hopes for this. I'm like, oh, this is gonna replace, you know, the IBY crease brush, which is actually funny because I got this in an Ipsy too. This is just really, really scratchy. I hated this brush. This is the JH38, and I did not like it. There is another pencil brush in there that I do use for my inner corner that isn't scratchy at all. So that one goes in there as well. All right, there is a reason for this. I am not saying this is a bad brush. This is the JH09. This is the highlighting brush that she uses, and there is a reason why I don't like this brush. Everybody loves this brush. This is like the brush that I guess ends all brushes, or it's just like the perfect highlighting brush. However, when you use a brush like this for your highlight, and see, I like it, it just packs on highlight. This like, you can get a intense highlight, but I just can't get the hang of it because I'm so used to, I probably need to use this a little bit more, but I am just so used to this brush. This is the Sephora Pro highlighter brush. It's the number 98 brush. I absolutely love it. It just gives me the perfect highlight, and it's just the one that I'm used to. So this isn't necessarily a bad brush. I'm just so used to this one that I just continuously grab for this. I've tried using this and I just don't like the way my highlight comes out, so I just continue using this one. So it's not necessarily a bad brush. I just don't use it because I'm used to this one. All right, so brushes that have kind of been replaced. So this brush, I always used a beauty blender for my foundation until I got this brush. This is the JH03. This is the foundation brush. And I got this brush and I started using it and I fell in love with it. So yeah, but then I got this Luxie 732 airbrush foundation brush in my Boxy Luxe. And I've just kind of been gravitating towards this brush more. It's kind of replaced it. I don't want to say it has definitely replaced it, so it still lives in here. But yeah, I've started like really liking this because it doesn't have, when you put your foundation on with this brush, it doesn't have the streaks and stuff, and this one does, and so I stipple it in more, and I do that with this too, but this just gives almost like an airbrush, like a flawless finish to your foundation. So it's slowly replacing this. I'm not gonna say it's permanently replaced it, but it's slowly replaced it. This brush right here, this is the JH01. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I used to use, they are like almost identical. This brush I got off of Amazon, and so many people, when I did my makeup on my makeup lives on Facebook, they always ask me where I got this brush. This is a cloth beauty brush. I don't even remember the name of it. I'm gonna go on to Amazon and I'll link it down below, but everybody asks, where did you get that brush? And I know a lot of people don't like, are talking about this brush because it's just too big, but I always put my powder on with a large brush like this because it just got the surface area of the brush just really quickly to put powder on. So I started using this one and I absolutely love it because it's just, this is more dense than this one. This one is a lot softer. So this has replaced this one. I washed this and I don't use it anymore. I use this one. So yeah, the JH01 I absolutely love. And that goes in there. Okay, those are the brushes that, well, this one, I guess this is a favorite, but those are the brushes that I'm comparing to other things that were in my collection that I, you know, just either replaced or didn't replace, or they didn't replace my normal brushes. These next brushes are my absolute favorites out of the collection. So yeah, I'm going through these individually basically because if you want to buy like the individual brushes, then, you know, so be it. Just go ahead and buy the brushes. So the JH02, this is the brush that she says she uses for her bronzer. And I started using this as my bronzer brush. And oh my God, I absolutely love this brush. It replaced another brush in my collection. I can't remember what it was, but I absolutely love this brush. It puts on bronzer like a dream, and just, it's not as harsh, because I was using like a real harsh brush for my bronzer and it looked a lot harsher. But this just kind of dusts it on, and it's just the perfect brush for bronzer. The JH08, this is what she calls her everything cream brush. And I used to use beauty blenders for my concealer, but I've moved to this for my concealer. I actually really like the way that it kind of evens out everything and just fades everything into the skin. So it doesn't quite get into the corners as well as my, this is the JH08, sorry. It doesn't quite get into the corners as well as my beauty blender, but it just kind of blends everything into the skin, and I really, really like it. So I don't use a concealer brush, I mean not concealer brush, I don't use a beauty blender or beauty sponge as much as I used to. It almost has replaced, and I've got like so many sponges. Where's my sponges? Oh, there we go. I've got so many sponges and I just don't gravitate towards them anymore. All right, the JH05, this is the contouring brush. I was also using something a lot more, how do I say, pointed onto the skin. But I absolutely love this brush for contour, and it does such a good, I mean, look, I mean, it does such a good job blending the contour into the skin, and it doesn't give such a harsh line. So yeah, I do like this for contour. The JH07, this is my powder brush that I use for underneath the eye. I absolutely love this brush. This brush gets so much use from me, and I honestly don't know what I did before before I got this brush. So this brush is like holy grail status for me right now. Let's talk about the million blending brushes that she put into her kit. There are two, the JH31 and the JH32. One is a little more fluffy, one is a little more tapered. I use both of these all of the time. I use these every single day for just adding depth into the crease and blending out my shadow. I love these brushes. Now the other two or three or four, the other two, this flat one and this kind of fluffier brush, I have used this, but I don't use these as much. These are the JH33 and the JH34. I don't use these as much. I do use, actually this one I really don't use at all. This one she says is good for getting into the edge here, but I use my Ivy White crease brush all the time for that, to get just like a pointed, because I like having a really detailed, crisp, dark outer corner of my eye. I may try that, you know, later on. Actually, I may try this later, and if I do decide to do veer off into something that isn't my normal kind of way that I do makeup, we'll see. This one I use, but I don't use as much. All right, now let's go into the JH41. This is the flat brush that she says you can use to pack on color. I use this every day, like every day for my shimmers. I used to use this teeny tiny little shader brush, which is the number 18. This is the Sephora Pro shader brush. This I used to use all the time to pack my shimmers on. I do still use this. I use this for the inner corner. Like today, that's what I used for the inner corner portion of my portion of my eye. But this, it just gets more area, and it just gets more lid space, and you're able to just kind of really quickly pack that on. So yeah, I use both of these every day, but I use this one every day. The JH42, which is, she said, it looks exactly like the Sephora Pro Shader Brush. It's just a little more softer. It has a little more give to it. This, she was talking about putting on for her brow bone highlight, and I use brow bone highlight every day. So I was using I was using the Sephora small shadow brush, and it was a lot bigger, and it would get onto my eyebrows and everything. So when I used this and just put it along the brow bone, and so it's just so much smaller, and it's just so easier to get that crisp line and not get everything into your eyebrows. So now that is what I use for my brow bone highlight. Okay, this next one, there are two. Like I said, I got almost an entire set from Limelight, and I'll get into the fact that, I'm not going to get into the fact that I bought a set and they did not deliver half of them. Anyway, so this is the JH39. This is the one that I use for my inner corner highlight. I like it because it has a point and it gets into that inner corner really well. This is the other one that I use. It's a Limelight pencil brush. Oh my gosh. And it's got that point right there, and these kind of, it gets the perfect inner corner highlight. So I use that every day. Now we're gonna get into the other brushes in here that I don't use every day, but I keep them in here because I have grabbed them before. This is the JH37. This is the one that she says she uses to smoke out her dude, I cannot talk today, her lower lash line, and I used it for a while there, but it just smoked it out way too much, and I started getting raccoon eyes. This one is the JH30, and this one I use every now and then, like if I need to clean up something or repowder, if I have shadow on or whatever, it's just a little more detailed and it helps get into the eye when I need it. The JH01, I rarely ever do my face makeup before I do my eyeshadow, just because I love color, I love bright color, and I pack on the color. So I get fallout, I will always get fallout. It's just the nature of the beast as far as the way I do makeup. So I rarely ever use this, but when I do every now and then do my face makeup first, if I'm in a hurry, I will go ahead and do the whole putting powder right here so I don't get too much fallout. So I do use this one every now and then. And then the JH35, that's another blending brush. I use it every now and then. I don't use it all the time. And then this JH40, I do not use this often, but when I do, I absolutely love it. This is such a good blending brush just to get in the inner corner, or into the crease, and just kind of buff out or blend out the crease. So yeah. All in all, I honestly think it was a good purchase. However, do I think that I should have gotten the entire set? No, I do not. Because there's just some that I'm not going to use, and yeah, there's just some that I'm not going to use, and some that I just don't use very often, but there were a lot of them that I do use. So, you know, it is a good deal if you are someone that, doesn't have a lot of brushes and is looking for, you know, a good deal just to immediately get into, you know, get your kit or get started in makeup, then this is a really, really good investment and a good deal, because, you know, it's just, it would be a good thing to get you started. This case, they do sell this case separately. I absolutely love it. I love the glitter on it. They have a black version of this that I'm wanting to get like really bad, but I'm holding off. This is what I put my everyday brushes in. The brushes that I use every day are the brushes that I use on occasion when I think I'm gonna need something, or if I go and do somebody's makeup. They're generally clean, okay? But when I go and do somebody's makeup, these are the brushes, and this is the case that I carry. It lays flat here on your desk or table or nightstand or vanity or whatever you call it, and it's just easy to come over here and look at what you need, set everything out. It holds all of your brushes perfectly, and then you just, I have a lot of brushes in here, okay? And then you just close it up and go along your merry little way. Okay, so I come in here and I do my makeup, and I just come over here and grab this and lay it out here, and then put all of my recording equipment and everything on. And yeah, so it's just like, honestly, I recommend it. People that were complaining about the price, if you actually look at how many brushes you're getting 24 brushes. That is not that expensive, okay? Like $6 a brush. I paid more than $6 for that tiny little Sephora Pro shader brush. I spend money on my brushes, so you know, that's a good deal, especially if you're a beginner and you're just getting into makeup. Will I eventually upgrade some of the brushes? Yes, I will, because I love brushes, and I think your tools, if you love makeup and want to get into makeup, or you know, become a makeup artist or whatever, your tools are probably what you're gonna, well, they're not probably, your tools are what you're gonna spend the most money on. And if you save up, if you buy, you know, something simple like that, and then save up to slowly replace things in your collection, you know, it's probably the best way to do things. So yeah. And with that, that is the end of my video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe. I do post a tutorial every week, kind of a review video if I have that, and then I am going to try to start doing the Will I Buy It series. I keep on saying I'm going to do it, and then I get in front of the camera and do it, and I just hate the way that it comes out. But I do 3 videos a week. I want to do more, but for right now I'm doing 3. Also, if you want to follow my social medias, I will leave them listed down below. I am Mindset and Mascara on both of my social medias. I do have a Twitter account. I will put that down below, but I'm not on it as often. I do get notifications from it, so if you do like tweet me or whatever, I will see it. And then on Instagram, I post a look every single day, and then on my IGTV, I do tutorials 3 days a week. And then Facebook has the same content as Instagram on it. Every now and then I'll go on Facebook Live and do like a motivational video, or you know, something of that sort. And yeah, so that is all that I have for today. I love you guys. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.